All right. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down the email strategy behind this account right here. So for this account right here, in the last 30 days, we've been able to generate nearly $160,000 in email revenue, which is around 50% of their entire store revenue. So if you're a brand doing between 7 and 8 figures, then this is going to be perfect for you because you're going to be able to sell these strategies and apply them directly to your store right here. So yeah, with that being said, let me dive right into the simple strategy email marketing framework that we use and still using with this account that has generated over $150,000 in the last 30 days, right? So before I dive into these strategies themselves, who am I? I'm the owner and founder of Klaviyo Consulting, an email marketing agency that basically has worked with over 50 DTC brands, and I'd say nearly 800 at this point, and we've generated over $30 million, blah, blah, blah. These are my socials, subscribe to my free newsletter, etc., etc., etc. Enough of the pitch right here. Let's dive right into the value itself. So brand context and goals behind this brand right here. So this is a DTC brand in the pet space, amazing space and very interesting industry, selling directly through their store. They use Facebook ads as their main acquisition channel. Really important because I'm going to dive into why like having a strong acquisition team is so important later. But yeah, and not just any ads, high converting, well optimized ads that bring in a steady flow of quality traffic. This part matters because email doesn't work in isolation. Your lifecycle marketing is only as strong as your acquisition engine, right? So primary goals we had in the beginning for this brand right here is increase the 60-day LTV, increase repeat purchase rate, and then also optimize the LTV to CAC ratio to support Facebook ads scaling. So that way they can afford, they can spend more to acquire a customer. And thus, of course, the scaling is much easier that way, especially in 2025 where Facebook ads are way more expensive than ever and way tougher to crack as well. So a game changer, first things first, we implemented something that really changed the entire course of this account, was essentially a magic discount. Before we came in, the brand was using a basic 10% off discount on their pop-up for both mobile and desktop. So they were using the same pop-up for both mobile and desktop, and they were using a 10% off offer. It was converting at 10% off, very decent actually, but there was a lot of room for improvement. So we actually implemented a magic discount strategy. So for example, in this case, in this example right here, are you looking for Halloween discounts? We prepare various discounts for you up to 50% off. See discounts now, right? So we implemented something similar. We switched to a mystery discount offer, not a spin to win per se, but it had kind of a vibe because spin to wheels, they suck. So don't use them essentially. Also, really important, we created separate pop-ups for both mobile and desktop with different triggers for each. For mobile, we used a scroll percentage trigger and then a time delay. And then for desktop, we used exit intent only. Really important that you have two different pop-ups for both devices. Mobile offer now converts at 20% plus, up from 10% off, not 10% off, up from 10% essentially. The best part is that the actual average discount given dropped to 5% from 10%. So right now, we are converting double the people. We are giving out half the margin. And then we are also converting more people because the lead to conversion rate stayed the same, right? So we get more people, we give out less margin, we're converting more people, which is crazy. Let me show you kind of on the account itself, the sign-up forms. So desktop, 10.1%, mobile, 22%, which is crazy for most of the brands we work with, to be honest with you. The pop-up rates hover between 8 and 12%. So if you're getting a 20% sign-up rate on your pop-up, it's crazy stuff, to be honest with you. So this is amazing. I love to see this. Basically make sure if you're not converting at least 6% of your traffic through your pop-ups, make sure you optimize everything single thing you can, especially the offer, because that's going to be the biggest needle mover by far. All right. Why this works? Mystery equals curiosity equals more opt-ins. Customizing for mobile ensures optimized triggers, as I mentioned before. And then a lower discount equals higher margins, while driving more conversions, which is a super win-win situation. And this right here was one of the highest leverage changes that immediately increased list growth and backend revenue potential. Your pop-up is basically the backbone of your entire email marketing strategy. If you're able to double the sign-up rate, for example, in theory, you should be able to double your email revenue. Of course, in reality, it doesn't happen that way, but for the most part, it's extremely crucial to optimize the sign-up rate of your store. And also take a look at the sign-up rate, how many margin you're giving out, and also, again, the lead to conversion rate ratio as well. Because sometimes, for example, you might see a let's say you're running a giveaway offer on your pop-up, you see a super high sign-up form because you get a bunch of people that just want free stuff. But at the end of the day, they just don't purchase from you ever. So the lead to conversion rate is really, really low. So you have to make calculations and see what actually makes more sense for your brand and see what converts the best as well. All right, moving on, we've got the flow infrastructure build out. You see, when we stepped in, their automation setup was pretty bare bones, to be honest. They had a welcome with 2 emails, a abandoned checkout flow with 2 emails, and then a thank you sequence with 2 emails as well. So this is what we rolled out in around 3 to 4 weeks. So a complete flow system, essentially, with a welcome series with 6 emails, a set abandonment with 3 emails, a browse abandonment with 3 emails, an abandoned cart with 4 emails, abandoned checkout with 5 emails, post-purchase with 9 emails because we had upsells, crosses, review collection, VIP emails as well here, VIP emails, yeah, and then win back with 3 emails, replenishment reminder with 3 emails, and then it's sunset and engage with 1 email inside of it. We also A/B tested the first email. We A/B test the hell out of the first emails or the first email of the welcome plus abandoned checkout because that's where most of the flow revenue will come from for the most part. And then also really, really important is we utilize zero-party data collected at a pop-up level to personalize the content within these flows right here. I'd say like maybe 1% of all DTC brands utilize zero-party data. So those are like questions or info you collect for the most part at the pop-up level. For example, in this Bloom example right here, take 20% off to claim it. Tell us your primary skincare focus, and then you've got a bunch of options. Once you select it, you get tagged, and then they will tailor the welcome series and potentially other flows based on your response. And of course, that way, the copy they use, everything they use is going to resonate more with you. And I can guarantee you, if you do this and then you personalize your content based on the response that the prospect left, I can guarantee you a huge increase in your flow revenue in general, right? Especially the welcome series. If you're able to personalize your welcome series utilizing zero-party data, then I can guarantee that's gonna crush it for your brand. All right. So what's the impact here? High relevance because of zero-party data for the most part equals better engagement, which equals better conversion rates. Full funnel coverage ensure we monetize every visit because client is paying for it essentially with paid ads, every sign up and customer. This turn flows into automated revenue machines, not just check the box sequences. So this is a sales funnel, a online sales funnel. With every flow, we want to tap into every stage of the funnel. So make sure we cover everything and we just don't leave any stone unturned, essentially. All right. Next, we've got the campaign strategy. Consistent, educational, and engaging. When we audited the campaign schedule, we found that they were sending 1 email per week, sometimes every other week. They were sending to the entire email list, and then the open rates were hovering between 30 and 40%, which is not horrible by any means, but it could be way better, right? And we knew that. So what we did instead was we created a strategic email calendar. We upped the frequency to 3 campaigns a week with amazing content because 80% of the content was educational, value-based, social proof, and then the rest 20% could be more promotional, quote-unquote salesy, and so on. But 80% was purely value-based. And then we began sending to the engaged 30-day segment only for a couple of weeks or so. And then we gradually expanded to engage 120 days once the open rates stayed above 50%. So essentially, we used the engaged 30 days for a couple of weeks or so. If the open rates were above 50% for the most part, we expanded to 60 days and they 120 days and so on and so forth until 180 days, which So right now we're basically using the 120 days, but we'll basically expand to 180 days very soon. We also performed a deep clean of lists. So we removed anyone who received 10 plus emails over all time, and they have not opened or clicked an email in the last 6 months or visited the website or placed an order. The results here, and of course, that allowed us to basically decrease the Klaviyo by quite a lot, right? So the results, higher open rates and click rates, increased engagement across the board, brands stay top of mind without fatiguing subscribers, and this was the flywheel effect in action: more relevant content and better engagement and better deliverability, which equals, of course, more revenue. Finally, scaling a strong acquisition team made it all work. You see, as I mentioned in the beginning, email marketing works best when you're fueling it with consistent quality traffic. This brand success was not only because of backend optimizations or retention marketing. Their ads team kept pushing volume at a profit. Really important. They have now tripled their ad spend since the day we started with them. With this brand right here, they've tripled the ad spend. I don't know how much money they're spending right now, but it's quite a lot, and they're doing it profitably. And because we built a system to retain, convert, and re-engage traffic effectively, every new dollar spent on ads gets amplified by email. Key lesson, and this is something I've mentioned before plenty of times before in this channel, is retention and acquisition are two sides of the same coin. If your acquisition is weak, email can only do so much, right? But when both are aligned, when your acquisition team and your retention team are aligned, you unlock compound growth for your e-commerce brand. That's why when we work with the brand, we make sure we're basically aligned with the acquisition team as well. We make sure everything is aligned and working perfectly in synergy. That's why when we onboard a new brand, we basically ensure we stay aligned with their acquisition team. So all these strategies, everything is aligned and working perfectly in synergy. All right. By the way, if you found value in this video right here, please consider subscribing to my free newsletter, where I share weekly free battle tested strategies and insights that I basically never share anywhere else. We work with a bunch of brands. We have a lot of things to share with you. So feel free to subscribe to my newsletter right here. And yeah, if you're an e-commerce brand doing over 50K per month right now, and you want a high-performing email marketing team to handle retention marketing, feel free to check out my calendar below, in the description box below. Feel free to go in there and book it, and it works for you. We can put together a free Klaviyo audit for you, and then a specific plan of attack for the next 3 months, completely free of charge. So yeah, with that being said, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.